Chinese envoy is up for a face-off with the nation's top diplomat over the latest floating barrier incident at Scarborough Shoal. But a number of House Solons expressed helplessness and frustration over the repeated and deliberate dismissal of the nation's protest in what may deem is an exercise in futility, with yet another formal protest falling on deaf ears. PTV correspondent Ryan Lesiges tells us more.
The Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, will call the officers of the Chinese embassy to discuss the latest issues related to the disputed territories in the West Philippine Sea. At the Chamber's plenary debates on the 2024 proposed budget of the DFA, OFW Party List Representative Marisa Magsino asked if the agency has any diplomatic options remaining to institute the country's rights in the WPS. Magsino says the filing of diplomatic protest by the DFA against China is merely a procedural formality.
We all know that nobody wants to go to an armed confrontation with China for the simple reason that we do not have the military might to match that of China's. But we do not also want the bullying of China to continue, as it assaults our sovereignty as a nation, destroys our natural resources, and impinges on our pride and dignity as a people.
Nueva Ecija 2nd District Representative Joseph Gilbert Villalagos said they will make sure their message reaches Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. The DFA has now filed 111 diplomatic protests against China under the term of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. But Villalagos says the country is getting only typical responses from China.
Practically, they have been consistent, and sometimes there's a note issued to respond to specific protests. On others, there is an omnibus response, and sometimes there is nothing in writing, Mr. Speaker.
Meanwhile, ACT Teachers Representative Franz Castro appealed to President Marcos Jr. to prioritize a dialogue with the Chinese government on the issue.
Nakikita natin na ang ating Pangulo naman ay firm ang kanyang resolve na talagang tapusin na ang isyong ito, sapagkat alam mo, ginagawa po ng China talagang nakakagambala na sa ating bansa, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
The next year's DFA proposed budget is 24.058 billion pesos, which focuses on strengthening national economic security. Ryan Lesiges for The Nation.
Senators want to find out why the environment compliance certificates were issued to the various reclamation projects in Metro Manila. Such projects are being blamed by some for the intense flooding in the metropolis, as well as the destruction of coral reefs that serve as a sanctuary for fish and also pose a threat to human lives. Thus, Senator Cynthia Villar is demanding an answer from those responsible for allowing such projects to proceed, especially with the many requirements and steps needed to get the authorization to do so.
Why in 2022 bigla kayo nag-issue ng ECC na hindi nyo man lang, wala man lang consultation, walang any process? So wala kayong pakialam kung na-declare siyang legislated protected area done by Congress?